Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How is everybody doing today?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, so far so good.
Here. All right, Chris, you think we're ready?
It is 5:30. I believe we have everybody here. So yeah, go ahead and whenever you're ready.
Okie doke. All right. We're going to call to order the meeting of the Economic Development Committee on Monday, April 12th, 2021. Current time is 5:30. I'm going to start with a roll call. I'm just going to name who I have here so far. I do have Dorothy. Let's see here. I'm sorry. Let's scroll through here. Dorothy Red on the call. We have John Crosby. We also have Angela Fellers, Brad Lindmark, and Tim Neighbors. And do we have Fred? Fred, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Oh, perfect. Okay, and we got Fred Westcott as well. We have a quorum today, so we will move on to the next matter of business, which is the approval of minutes for the March 15, 2021 Economic Development Committee. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Motion by Ms. Crosby,
Second.
second by Mr. Westcott. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, we gotta do roll call.
We got the roll call. Okay, let's do roll call. All right, I apologize. Let's start with Gene Crosby,
Yes.
Mr. Brad Lindmark,
Yes.
sorry here. Fred Westcott,
Yes.
Angela Fellers,
Yes.
Dorothy Red,
Yes.
and Mr. Neighbors.
Yes.
All right. Did I miss anyone? I think I got everybody there. All right, with that, we move on to the next section, which is the public comment. I don't believe we have anybody signed up for public comment. Do we, Chris?
No, sir.
All right, and we'll move on to item E, which is the resolution authorizing the chairman of the county board to execute a redevelopment agreement by and between the county of Winnebago, Illinois, and Venture One Development LLC for Project Sawgrass. So move.
Second.
We get a second by Ms. Crosby. All right, with that, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Dornbush and I believe Mr. Good for just giving us a description on this project.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll just give a brief and then pass it on to Mr. Good, if that's all right. This is a new development down off of Baxter Road. It is in the IJRL, the Illinois Jobs Recovery Law. It came established around 2011. Mr. Good is the developer down there. We've had two big projects around 2014, 2015.
Right there.
FedEx, and then in 2018 we did the Burner Food and Beverage Company, and looking for a third one down in this area in the to develop undeveloped property. Thank you, down there, and increase the tax base. So I will hand it off to Mr. Good to give us some more information. Thank you.
You're muted, Mr. Good.
Sorry,
You gotta unmute Mr. Good.
should be bottom left corner there, bud. There we go.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I use the computer audio. If you can put up the slides, that would be great, because I can provide some background and then give you some information on the project. I know we sent that PDF earlier.
Yes. Ian from IT. There you go. Thank you, Ian.
So the first slide, if you can see it outlined in red on the lower part of the aerial, is where Rock 39 is. It's just east of I-39 on both the north and south side of Baxter Road. Those were two farms when we bought them about 12 or 13 years ago, and worked with the county and the village of Cherry Valley and annexing them into the village, and also getting them zoned for industrial. And then in 2012, worked to create the IJRL, which allowed the county to help us get the FedEx transaction there, and also provide revenue to put in a water tower and a sanitary to the property, which was needed by FedEx. Prior to doing the FedEx deal, and maybe you can go to the next slide if you can, we did the XBO logistics deal. And when we did that, working with the county, we actually put in a large septic tank on the property because there wasn't any sanitary there. The county provided that tank, and we paid for the pumping of that tank until the sanitary came post the TIF agreement that we had for the property, which gave us the revenue from FedEx to do those improvements. The water tower was done prior to that because we needed the water tower for sprinkler services for XBO logistics. So all that was done in the 2012 to 2014 range with FedEx. And then 2 years ago, Burner Logistics came to us and we completed a 600,000 square foot building for them. They're a very large manufacturer of food products located west of Rockford. And they were looking to consolidate 3 different warehouse locations. Originally, it was only going to be 200,000 square feet. But when they saw this location and realized, the value to being in this location for logistics, they combined all of their distribution into this one building of 600,000 square feet, which we're really proud of that we were able to do that here at Rock 39. Today, we're talking about a site that's approximately 45 acres. It's called Project Sawgrass. You can see it on your screen on the left. It's on the north side of Baxter Road. The building will be approximately 141,300 square feet. It's a e-commerce facility. We are under an NDA, so I can't discuss the name of the user that's going to be in this facility. So we've codenamed it Project Sawgrass. We believe that from their perspective, they'd like to get started on construction. We would like to get started on construction with them probably right around June 1st, end of May, early June. And that building will be completed in about 10 months. It includes approximately 307 auto parking spaces with the facility. Minimum investment in our development agreement with the county would be $20 million. And we think it's a great fit for the project and for the area, being right next to the interchange at Baxter and I-39. So I'm open, Chris, for any questions on our park, on Venture One, or on the project from the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Good. With that, I'll actually open it up to the board for any questions or concerns.
And Chairman Billich, this is Angela Fellers.
Yes, Ms. Fellers.
Is it, being that I am new and that I'm a freshman, is it usual for the county to invest that kind of money into a project where we don't know who the tenant will be?
Yes.
Sorry, depending on the project, I'll actually let Chris answer that one because he's been doing it for a lot longer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So there's no funding from the county going directly to this. We have established in 2011, 2012 bonds quite a long time ago to put the water system in place. There's some road improvements and so forth. So the money that's actually come is there's a TIF district that is established down in Cherry Valley and New Milford, east and west of 39. It's the only one in the state, to my knowledge, that actually the county oversees. We act as the negotiations up to 50% of the taxes. Right now, you're going from essentially agricultural land, which is assessed at a extremely small value. And then you're turning it into a developed land. So the increment off of that goes to assist in paying off the bonds and so forth that the growth, the EAV growth goes to help pay off the bonds for the investment. It is quite a large investment back in 2011, 2012, but the developments are helping offset the bonds to do this. So there's no host fees directly tied to this. For this development, it's already established, and this is just furthering the growth of that corridor down there. As well as part of this will the highway department oversee the water system, so they will actually collect some access fees as well as the water connection fees down off that, and that's in the redevelopment agreement as well. If that answers your question, Ms. Fellers.
It does. Thank you for that.
And I'm going to move on to Mr. Kelly. Did you have a question or concern? I see that you have the hand logo on your screen.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Chairman. I'm not a member of the committee, but I appreciate the opportunity to ask.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Good mentioned the sum of $20 million, and I wanted to know what that is. This is in my district.
Correct.
Yes, what we've put into the agreement that there would be a minimum investment in this project by the developer of $20 million for the construction of the facility. So that's the minimum investment amount that we're committing to for this building.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Kelly?
So who is investing the $20 million?
It would be Venture One and our partners.
And in regards to recently, there was a question asked, obviously, with the NDA, we have actually dealt prior times. That's one thing that I was hoping Chris would mention on. It's not unheard of for a business or a corporation that's obviously had the negotiation with, usually through a real estate agency such as Venture One. And when they do a deal like that, there is an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. That's in regards to whatever it may be. I myself don't know exactly who this is in regards to which company or which corporation. We're dealing with the fact of approving, obviously, if we're going to give them that tax credit to develop in that area. One of the benefits, obviously, being that we're actually going to be utilizing the water system that currently right now, with the water tower being installed and us maintaining that system, it's costing us money if we don't utilize it to a certain extent. So for us to receive the most bang for the buck within that area, it actually is pertinent to try to boost the development of that area, which has been destined years ago, I believe decades ago, if I'm not mistaken, to be actually a growth area for industrialization. Mr. Dornbush.
Just to further that a little bit, I should have mentioned it earlier. When the FedEx came through in that area, the undeveloped, before FedEx came there, the undeveloped property, the entire tax bill was only $945.84. The 2019 tax bill, because 2020 has not come out yet, the taxes are $279,896. So that's growth from basically 1,000 up to 280,000. So the incentive is we give half of that goes to help offset some of the development costs of there. So we're still collecting half of that into paying the bonds off. So every development helps. The other with Burner Foods, the undeveloped property, it was $1,926.62, and now the tax bill is for 2019 $629,878,000. So about $2,000 up to almost $630,000, because you're going from undeveloped property to developed property with all the hookups and so forth. So it's a big EAV growth down in that region, and that taxes, the 50% helps pay off the bonds that the county has established out there as an economic tool for growth. Thank you.
And in unison with our zoning procedures as well, If everyone remembers, we do have a 2030 land use plan, which designates that we will not grow industrialization in certain parts of the area, that they're going to stay agricultural, or that we expect that by 2030 they're going to become residential or whatever it may be. This is one of those programs that this was included in that this was destined to become an industrial area with industrial growth. Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Chairman. I didn't mean to come across, I hope I didn't come across negative before. I congratulate you, Mr. Good, on finding another one. We really need it, and I know it, and I'll support it.
Well, and realistically, we thrive on momentum. So, having done the XBO deal, which led to doing the FedEx deal, which led to do the burner deal, and now doing Project Sawgrass, that's 4 transactions in the last 8 to 9 years, and one almost every 2 years. Is great momentum for this area, and so we're very excited about it. And it brings, I think with this deal we'll have close to 1,000 employees coming to work on the Baxter Road corridor here. So we think that's a great improvement to the area and the region as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kelly, on those comments. Actually, I do also want to tell you, thank you, Mr. Kelly, for being part of the meeting today, since this is in your district. So I appreciate you being involved in the meeting today. Is there any other questions or concerns by other board members?
I have one more question, please.
Yes, Ms. Fowlers.
When a development is in a TIF district, is it subject to project labor agreements, or there a requirement to hire skilled labor?
I'm going to let Mr. Dornbush answer that.
I might defer to the state's attorney, or maybe Mr. Good can speak to that.
I'll let the state's attorney answer that. We have not had that question asked of us in the past.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm actually not sure about that. In my prior dealings with the city of Rockford, I did make that part of our agreements, but I can look into it before it goes to county board for you.
If you could, that would be great. Thank you, Ms. Vaughn.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns by board members? All right, with that, I would call it to a vote. And obviously, we're going to have to do a roll call here. Give me 1 second. Just pull up the names. All right, Ms. Red.
Yes.
Mr. Crosby.
Yes.
Ms. Fowlers.
Yes.
Mr. Lindmark.
Yes.
Mr. Neighbors.
Yes.
And Mr. Westcott.
Yes.
And I myself will be a yes. That passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Good, for being here to give us that presentation.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate it. Look forward to breaking ground.
Thank you. Moving on to the next item of business, which is other matters. Is there any other matters anyone would like to bring up?
I have something.
Yes, Mr. Neighbors.
I got a question from Mr. Dornbush. Did anything happen yet with the application for the Booker Washington Community Center?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind. Nothing has happened yet, Mr. Neighbors. I believe Chairman Chiarelli was waiting for the funds, the American Relief Funds, if that's the proper term for it, to see if we can utilize some of those potential funds to assist them in that project. So we're kind of just on hold right now to wait to see if we can use that to give us some flexibility.
Okay.
All right. Any other board members with any other matters? With that, I am looking for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Westcott and a second by
Dorothy Red.
Ms. Red. Thank you very much, Ms. Red. Do I have to do a roll call on the adjournment?
No.
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 Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much.